Hi, today I thought I'd show you some pages that I've been doing lately where I keep the basic design the same on the pages so that I can focus on trying out new techniques, using up favorite photos, using up some of my favorite products, and also using funny quotes from my son who's just famous for them. So this is the basic design. You can see how they're all similar, but all of those strips are different techniques or products that I love, and I keep it really simple so that I can focus on what I enjoy about scrapbooking, which is the techniques and the products. I wish I could do design like Ali Edwards. She's great at it. I wish I could write like Kathy Z. She's so powerful at it. But for me, those are really tough. So I like to focus on the plain side of things. So I thought I'd show you some of the techniques on these particular pages. This is what I call layered stamp resist. You can see it over here on the side. Basically, there's layered stamp images with some resist, and I do this with Distress Ink. You have to forgive me, this video isn't the best. I shot it while at a crafting retreat, and the lighting wasn't really great, and it's kind of jumpy, but hopefully it'll give you the idea. This is just the Distress Ink from Tim Holtz, and I love this ink, and I'm just stamping it with this Hero Arts wood grain stamp. This is a must-have stamp. It really works with just about anything. So I'm just going to cover this white piece with it. And after I let that dry, I'm going to stamp this Hero Arts Flourish with Versamark ink over it. You can use any kind of embossing ink for this. I'm just going to stamp it over. You won't be able to see it very well. Then I'm going to shake on some clear embossing powder. I keep my, my clear embossing powder in this little Tupperware. So I'm going to shake it on there, and then I heated it up so you can see the heat embossed image there. And now I'm using this inking tool from Ranger to apply more of the exact same ink color over it. So you can see here that the wood grain that's underneath the embossed area shows through, since I stamped with the same color ink but protected it with the clear embossing powder and then rubbed the same ink over it. Next, I'm going to show you an ink die cut background. I have really been loving my quick cut silhouette lately. It cuts such detailed images like this XOXO, and so I thought it'd be fun to ink it too. So what I did is I cut it with my silhouette and adhered it to white cardstock, so it's just white on white. And now I'm using this inking tool from Ranger to put some brown Distress ink over it. Just gives a really neat layered look without any kind of bulk. Now this one's really simple. I just did some enhancing with stamping onto some pattern paper. I love this pattern paper from Crate Paper, but I thought it'd be neat to enhance it with this little circle image from Hero Arts. So I'm using some broken China Distress Ink. Distress Ink is great for stamping too. Just to do some random little circles here. It just makes it fun and look a little bit different. So this is a great way to give your scraps a new look. So here you can see the basic design of how I put it together. I love to use my corner rounder. This is the new Chomper. It does 1.5 and 1/4 inch rounded corners, sorry. And it really is great. It goes through lots of thickness and it doesn't get in the way of your project. So if you got stuff glued on top, it doesn't matter. So I also did on each of these pages a little punch circle window, and I get questions about this. It's real easy to do. You can see it here. I have a little die cut shape in the center. This is what I do. I just punch a circle into just a piece of scrap paper and I trace it where I want it to be on the layout. Not on the white background, but just on those pieces that will be cut. There are other ways to do this, but I find this to be the easiest. And since I use an adhesive that allows you to move easily, it's a Kokuyoku, I think it's called, adhesive. It's the same one that Ali uses also. I can lift it up and put it back down. So here I'm just going and punching right along the drawn circle, and I'll glue it back down. And then I'll do it on the other piece too. And so this is how you get that simple window. So this is just a simple design that I did, and I can use these little strips of favorite paper or different techniques. And then I have this twine that I think is a great way to add a little bit of texture without bulk, and so I'm just tying around this little die cut. No big deal, I just tuck it behind. I adhered this with the foam dots to give lots of dimension. Now here's another layout. I did some peeled resist canvas here. This is the sticky back canvas from Claudine Hellmuth. I love this stuff. You can see it there. It's the blue. It comes in white It's really easy to use and fun to do. This is the package here, and I'm going to take out the 12 by 12 sheet of sticky back canvas. It's just white and it's sticky, which just makes it so easy to use. I like to tear it so you can tell it's a canvas. So I put a little cut and then I just tear it away. No big deal, it doesn't matter. And I just stick it down on this craft sheet behind there that I work on. This is great to work on. Now I'm painting it with just a blue colored Claudine Hellmuth paint. This paint is like butter. It is wonderful to use. I love this paint. After it dried, I'm stamping this Hero Art stamp with this Distress embossing ink. It's just a really good sticky ink that I like to use. So I'm just going to stamp this onto the sticky back canvas. And then I'm going to put on some clear embossing powder. So basically I just painted that, let it dry, and now I'm embossing an image with clear embossing powder over it. So you can see the image there, flicking off some of the extra, and then I'm going to heat it up real good. Now this is cut and dry. It's just a stamp pad foam that Ranger sells, and I like to use the white side of it to blend paints and inks. It's just a great tool to have. So I cut off a little piece and I'm dabbing in the white, and I'm just going to really generously put white over here. I'm going to spread it thin but generously go back and forth. Now I'm going back with a wipe and taking, this is a baby wipe, and taking away some of the extra paint. And now this is kind of interesting. When you go, once it dries a little bit, you can start peeling off the embossed area so it shows through the darker blue below it. It's just a fun technique. Now here's another thing that I like to do. Learned this one from Tim Holtz, of course. And I did a silhouette cut image here, this flourish. I love that image. And you can see this, there's the image full right there, but I'm going to cut off the extra so I can move it around. I just need to cover that strip. This is a little Xyron machine that makes this sticky back, which makes it easy to adhere. So I like to use it for my silhouette pieces. There's a bigger one too, I just didn't have it with me at this retreat. So now I'm going to stick it onto this white strip and cut off the extra. I like to leave some of that adhesive showing through because it resists the ink when I apply it this way. So you can see those little spots where the adhesive shows through. It just adds to the resist effect. So now this is water, and actually my brush from my Perfect Pearls. You could use any brush. I'm just getting the brush real wet and I'm flicking it on to put little water droplets onto this ink. And because Distress ink reacts with water, you can see those cool little splotches. It just adds a nice look to the inked area. Just a fun technique. Now this is faux embossed leather. You can see it on the top of this layout here. This is the last layout I'm showing. I just used my Quick Cuts embossing folder, and first I inked up the entire piece with my tea-dye Distress ink. It just does a nice brown leathery color, and I'm putting on really thick here. I don't normally ink this way with this tool, but I want it to be really thick and kind of splotchy. So this is my Quick Cuts Revolution in an embossing folder. It's a long one, so it's great for scrapbooking. So I'm putting up my inked piece of paper in it, closing it up, and then I'm going to run it through the Revolution, and I just love this die. And it will leave a nice embossed image onto my inked piece of paper. Again, I'm just doing various techniques on this, and I thought I'd show you all the techniques I did on these layouts. For me, this is the fun part of scrapbooking and making cards and such, is playing with different techniques. It's a great way to use your products in different ways. Now I sanded all of that raised image real good with the sanding block, and now I'm going through with some more Distress ink and just rubbing it over that sanded embossed part, and now it looks like a faux leather. So there you can see the final results of that layout. And so that's the last layout I did. And I used a quote from my son with a little strip of journaling. Here's the other layout with all the different techniques. I think there's 3 different things on that one. And then the final one with the Claudine Hellmuth sticky back canvas there on the side. I hope you enjoyed getting a peek at how I like to have fun with new techniques. If you want to see more videos on techniques or other things, you can visit my blog at Jennifer McGuire Inc., or you can visit Allie Edwards. Thanks for stopping by.